There is a silent illness that has affected millions of men without anyone knowing it. It's so destructive to masculinity. It is the spiritual cancer of our time. It causes you to deal with crippling anxiety, fear of conflict, toxic shame, escaping into addictions just to numb any pain you may have. It stunts your growth and potential to become the high value man you were always meant to be. The worst part about all of this is that it can easily be prevented. In this video, I will show you how this disease destroys your masculine image, slowly murders your woman's attraction for you, and leaves you defeated with nothing but a shell of your former self. At the end of the video, I'll also clear up the misconceptions about this disease. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how to cure this illness with 5 powerful remedies. By the end of this video, you will start to feel better about yourself immediately. And instead of being repulsed, your woman will be drawn to you in a new and exciting way. Your intimacy will increase tenfold and you will flow in every aspect of your life. The benefits are endless. I'm Stacey, by the way. Hi. And the illness that I'm talking about is nice guy syndrome. So let the healing begin, shall we? To kick off this first remedy, I want to share a quick story about one of my clients, Brad. When he discovered that he was a full-on nice guy in every sense of the label, he started recalling moments in his life where he'd acted completely out of character. One of these times was when he was fresh out of college. He landed a job working in television at his favourite country music station. Artists would often come into the studio for interviews for both television and radio. Sometimes when he passed them in the hall, he would strike up a conversation and even get their autograph. One day, there was an artist with a breakout hit single. He was a jazz musician new to the country scene. Brad loved his first single and would always crank it up when it was on the radio. It was like the perfect driving tune for him. So when the artist came by the studio, it floored Brad. He talked to the guy about music, as Brad was a songwriter himself, and about the smash hit single. Then Brad asked for his autograph and he handed the artist a piece of paper. He said, "Had I known you'd been here today, I would have brought your CD with me." But after he mentioned owning the CD, the artist looked at him with an awkward look and said, "Yeah." Right away, the PR guy standing beside them stepped in, took the piece of paper. "Okay, moving along, we've got a really busy schedule, let me take your name." He told him it was Brad. The PR guy scribbled his name quickly on the paper and walked away. It turns out the CD wasn't available yet, so there was no way Brad could have owned the CD. The artist knew he was lying, and Brad came across as a weirdo who wanted an autograph from someone he likely didn't even recognise. Talking about awkward. You see, Brad was a real fan with a real appreciation for the song and the artist's music. So why did Brad feel the need to lie about owning the album? It comes down to one word, and it covered Brad like a filthy, muddied, soaked blanket. Insecurity. Brad felt in that moment that he should have owned the man's CD if he was a fan. This was a moment that always stuck with him, and that's why my first antidote is you need to rip off the band-aid of insecurity. Own it. Don't be afraid to expose your scars. And by scars, I mean everything that has shaped you into you. They're absolutely beautiful. If you're a Christian who goes to church every Sunday, don't hide that, even if you're on a date with an atheist. If you took gymnastics all the way through college, that's amazing. Maybe you still hit the mat regularly. If you still crank up your favourite cheesy pop song that you loved as a kid, and when it comes on the radio, admit it with pride. Even if you can laugh at your own interests and not take yourself too seriously at the same time, do so with confidence. Know what your values are, set your boundaries and stick to them. That is owning it. Nice guy syndrome tells you that you're only accepted, loved, liked, or have your needs met when you become who everyone else wants you to be. So stop hiding your traits because you'll think they'll trigger negative responses from her. Rip off that band-aid and own who you are. This next point tackles a big mistake that nice guys make. Let me paint you a picture. Your wife is changing into comfy clothes after a busy day at work. You come into the bedroom and you say, hey, I'm going to make us dinner tonight. Any requests? And she says, oh, that's awesome. How about making pizzas with that fresh flatbread that we have on the counter? And you say, perfect. Here. And you slap a 3-page document on the bedside beside her. What's this? She asks. It's a contract. It says in return for me cooking dinner, you're going to cook dinner for the rest of the week. You're going to have sex with me every night of this week. You're not going to complain about how tough your day was. You're always going to be in a good mood. And if you could please sign here on the dotted line, stop it. When men do nice things and expect something in return, it's called a covert contract. Dr. Robert A. Glover coined this term in his book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. The contract is a hidden agenda that nice guys have because they feel deep down they're owed something for being nice. That's why this point is called write a prescription, not a contract. When a doctor writes a prescription, that's it. You take it and you leave. Here you go, goodbye. There's no feelings of entitlement there. You don't owe them anything except maybe a thank you and the cost of the appointment if you don't have coverage. But my point is this: stop giving with the expectations to get. You can still do nice things for her. So if you're in the mall and her favourite perfume is on offer, maybe you could get her a bottle. Or if you're at the grocery store and her favourite chocolate is $3 off, maybe grab her a couple. But my point is this: always treat it like a prescription. Your doctor gives you and you never sees you again. No expectations, no hidden agenda. Do you understand? And that actually complements my next antidote in a yin-yang kind of way. This next one is one of the most powerful things you can do to heal from nice guy syndrome. And we can sum it up with one single word. It's short, but it's dangerous. When she speaks it, this word is like music to your ears. But if you hear it too often, you take it for granted. And if you say it too often, it loses its power and it becomes as bland as soup with no salt. Can you guess what that word is? If you said the word yes, then you are correct. Nice guys are often people pleasers and say yes more than they should. To give your masculine image the healthy energy it needs to flourish, you must give yes plenty of rest. Set it aside unless you really need it and learn to say no and mean it. Master the art of saying no and you'll enact positive change immediately. Begin by refusing requests from your closest friends and family. When you're not inclined to go along with their wishes, don't apologise for it. If your wife or girlfriend asks you to do something and it conflicts with your schedule or something important to you, don't be afraid to say no and do so with compassion. You could even suggest an alternative solution so that she respects you more for not bending to her every request. Learn to be a little selfish and start doing things purely for your own pleasure or benefit. Putting your needs first shows you're not a pushover. You can even ask others to do things for you, like asking your partner or colleague to grab you a coffee. Give yes plenty of rest. So when you do say it, it's more healthy and it means more both to you and her, which leads me right into my next remedy for this masculine epidemic. Let's say your wife gets home from work and you ask her how her day went and she gets right into it and she's really annoyed that a co-worker keeps trying to pass her work off to her and the rest of the team. This co-worker can't even do her own job, yet she has the audacity to try and delegate tasks that aren't even your wife's responsibility. Your wife is clearly annoyed and sick of it. You, being the nice husband that you are, tell her right away in a frustrated manner that she should have a talk with her co-worker. Set up a meeting and hash it out, but be professional. Or bring it up with her boss so they know exactly what's going on in work. Your intentions are good, but she's likely to interpret that as you not listening to her. That leaves you frustrated and confused from trying to be nice. That's why this next antidote is quit playing doctor and trying to fix her problems. She doesn't want you to fix them. She wants you to listen to her. I know I told you to write the prescription early in the video, but that was a metaphor. You're not a doctor, and if you are, quit being one in moments like this. You see, men and women share similarities in their communication, but a key difference lies in their objectives. Men engage in problem-solving communication to achieve goals. Women emphasize the importance of establishing connection. They tend to amplify minor issues where men tend to downplay significant concerns. So it's instinctive for a man to offer a solution, but you need to understand that by playing a doctor, you're denying her the right to experience her emotions. And by attempting to get rid of her negative emotions, you convey neediness. It's unintentional, but it is there. To handle these emotions from her, instead grant her the space to navigate her emotional journey. Even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, feel those experiences and emotions by just listening and offering your support. If you have suggestions, wait until she asks for them or offer them later on. Quit playing doctor, which brings us to my last point. This one will likely hit home when you realise how you got infected with nice guy syndrome to begin with. And I'll also address that misconception I mentioned in the beginning. To quickly bring you up to speed, in his book No More Mr. Nice Guy, Dr. Glover observed that nice guys follow a common pattern in their upbringing and exposure to society. It stems from a lack of connection with their fathers. Sometimes fathers who are in the picture may be distanced due to their own struggles with nice guy syndrome, preventing them from serving as effective masculine role models for their sons. This lack of robust male influence during the formative years gets filled with the presence of strong female figures, mothers, teachers, sisters. This isn't necessarily bad. Boys do need some girl power in their lives, but it's crucial for boys to have a strong male role model. They need that masculine energy. The imbalance of masculine and feminine energy leaves men in a cycle of seeking validation from everywhere else instead of self-validating. This process nurtures nice guy syndrome like sugar nurtures obesity or cardiovascular disease. So it's important to counter this process and to take your masculine medicine every single day. It's like taking an antibiotic. You have to keep taking it daily, even when you notice your symptoms disappear. What does masculine medicine look like? You have to adopt a masculine mindset. You must shift your mindset from I can't live without her to you could, and you're going to, and you're going to be just fine. You're going to be a superstar on your own without her. Then you can start to behave like you're a man that she's going to want. You see, women are attracted to men that they respect, and they respect a man who will want them but doesn't need them. The deeper you go into your masculine frame with these traits I mentioned, the more she goes into her feminine flow. And she's happy and she's open and she's aroused when she's around you. So remind yourself every day that you are the prize. You're a man who's in control of his life, who leads with compassion and takes responsibility for his actions. You're not a needy boy who storms out of a room in a heated fit of rage, but a sturdy rock who can keep calm under fire and grounded in your masculine presence. She will be drawn to you and feel safe around you and be able to open up into her feminine self. This is medicine that works wonders and one you were always supposed to take. Now, I mentioned the misconception that if you're not a nice guy, you're a jerk. The truth is women love dating bad boys, but it's not for the reason that you think. You see, bad boys and jerks embody attractive traits such as setting boundaries, prioritizing themselves, self-confidence, a sense of humor, and not taking things too seriously, to name a few. Do these sound familiar? But there is a middle ground between being a jerk and being a nice guy. And you can reach that happy place with the remedies that I've mentioned in this video. All of those negative niceties will fade away and those positive and healthy traits will remain. You will be confident. You will exude compassion, empathy, and an inner strength that is far more attractive than any jerk. And your masculine immune system will be stronger than ever. And if you're watching this and your marriage has taken a turn for the worse, your wife wants space or even brought up divorce, click below and set up a free call with our marriage evaluating team. Together we'll assess your situation and figure out the best way to turn your marriage around completely. It's not too late. My near-decade experience as a practitioner led me to work with world-renowned marriage expert Josh Hudson. And we developed a program specifically for husbands in failing marriages. It uses techniques that have saved hundreds of relationships, even if divorce is already on the table, and we can help save yours too. Thank you for watching, and hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video. Take care.